Good morning, y'all, and welcome to your Hump Day Guilty Pleasure. This is my corner of the multiverse, the Salty Goddess Podcast. I'm Margaret Perry. You know, every week I sit behind this microphone to bring you some, what I'd like to think is some sage wisdom. So if you have friends and families, coworkers, colleagues, or even people you don't like that could really use a dose of the Salty Goddess, be sure to follow, share, subscribe. Follow us on social media. Listen to this this podcast and share it with everyone else, because shouldn't everybody else get in on your Hump Day Guilty Pleasure? I mean, why would you want to deny them? I wouldn't want you to deny them. That's why I'm out here. So get on all the social media. Follow us on all of our social media accounts across all of the platforms. Make sure you let everyone know that they can get the Salty Goddess Podcast coloring books on Amazon. Don't be shy. We could all use a little bit of, that coloring therapy. Remember how great it felt when we were in kindergarten to color in our pages and things? A little bit of therapy. Go get those coloring books. While you're at it, go take a look at some of the other Salty Goddess Press books that we've edited and published for some of our other authors, such as Mr. Rob Aronsky, who has, wait, what? You're in sales? You're in leadership? Some of those books as well. Trust me, someone could use a gift of a Salty Goddess podcast or a Salty Goddess coloring book. Valentine's Day is coming. Okay? It's a wonderful gift. It'll keep them out of prison. It's good therapy. All right, so what are we here this week? What are we going to talk about? Y'all, listen, we're coming into 2026. We are full into the month of January. We have roughly 11 months and like 4 days left. 3 days, 11 months, 3 days, whatever it is. Why are y'all still dragging 2025 around with you? Rinsing and repeating and doing the same shit you were doing in 2025. Did you like 2025 that much? That you just can't stop? Last week, we talked about, acknowledging that you're having an issue, giving it a name, saying, I got some problems, whatever. And then never doing the work that's required to make those behavior modifications to make things better. And I'm just going to bring a little something here in the forefront for y'all to think about just for a second. And this is how I feel. And this is what I'm seeing. Y'all spend more time and money maintaining your vehicles than you do maintaining yourselves. You get notification that 3,000 miles have gone by, or you're down to 3% on the life of your oil and your oil filter, and you rush that vehicle right over to whatever fast lube place you go to, and you get some fresh oil and a fresh filter. But when you are struggling with something in your own personal life, you sweep it under the carpet. You deny that it's happening. You take no action to right the ship, to, change course, to make things better. And I'm confused as to why you want to do those same things over and over again. Why? Why don't you want to improve? Is the comfort and the ease of familiarity the draw to not making those changes and to not modifying what's happening, what you're doing, how you respond? I really, really, really must know what the deal is. Somebody's got to tell me, because I'm watching, and by the time this podcast airs, it'll be the 28th of January. 28 days. Did you know that it takes about 28 days to make and break a habit? And here we are. And all of you are just fucking around still, not making those modifications. Even if you attempted just a micro modification every single day, it's forward progress, one step in front of the other. It's not regression. Okay? I cannot impress upon you enough. A journey of self-improvement, for one, almost never ends. There's always something we can improve upon. Always. All right? But when you embark on this journey, not everyone is going to be with you as you travel this journey. Some people aren't good traveling partners. Some people, you don't want to travel with them and they don't want to travel with you, and that's okay. Some people decide that staying stuck in the shitty situation they're in is right where they want to be. Leave them behind. Leave them behind. Anyone who impedes your growth, anyone who impedes your self-improvement, anyone who looks down on you and says to you, why do you feel like you need to grow? Why do you think you need to accomplish, achieve, or take this journey, take this path? Is not what you've had thus far good enough? I've heard it, and I've had individuals come to me and say that to me, that their own family members have said, well, I didn't take that path. I didn't walk that journey. I don't need to grow. What, you think you're better than me? Friends, those are detractors. And I don't care if they are your parents, your siblings, your children, your grandchildren, your lover, your most intimate partner. If they believe that your growth is you saying that you are better than them, maybe you are. And maybe it's time to find other people to hang out with. And maybe you will find those people as you continue on your journey of growth and enlightenment, or however you want to, whatever you want to call it. Okay? 2026, and this is not a resolution. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do things like goals and growth potential and being better at something than I was previously. So, but we often start that journey the beginning of a month, beginning of a season, beginning of a holiday season, beginning of a year. So we're 28 days in. Are there any habits that you've tried to walk away from? Or are there habits that you've tried to build? I'm interested in hearing what you all have been working on. And I'll tell you, I haven't been as successful as I'd like to be. So I want you to know that on this journey, not every single thing that I undertake am I successful at, or good at, or dedicated to. Not every single thing. And y'all, you all are going to laugh. I know you will, because those of you that know me know how I feel about exercise. But I did have a little bit of a goal that I was going to start using resistance bands and building muscle this year. And I will tell you that I have failed miserably. Miserably. I had a goal, and I think that maybe 3 days, all right, maybe 2. I use those resistance bands. And that's it. So while I sit here and speak to you, I don't want you to think that I'm looking at each and every one of you and saying, oh, well, I'm better than you. I've already walked that path. I'm enlightened. I've done all of these things. I'm so amazing. I'm pointing out all of the lessons I've learned over the years and some lessons that I continue to learn as I age every day. I like to learn new things. I think it's great. I believe that it is better for your brain when you're open to learning and that you do try to learn about things. Something comes up and maybe you're like, oh, I've never heard about that before. Do you research it? Do you look into it? Do you find out about it? I believe this is one of the ways that we keep our brain young and we keep it neuroplastic and that we keep it agile and we stave off things like dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay. So that's part of the reason why I'm so gung-ho about learning and writing and things like that. And just this past week, I learned that a graveyard and a cemetery are not the same thing. They mean two different things. A graveyard is attached to a church, hence yard of a dwelling, if you will, or of a building. And a cemetery is a stand-alone burial place. Did not know that. Learned something new. Learned something new this week. Didn't even do it on purpose. But there I am. There I was. So we need to usher in this new year, some new behavior modifications, and the realization that not everyone is going to be all about your journey of growth. And that's okay. And it's okay if you need to step away. Stepping away doesn't mean you're going to step away forever. It might just be for the short term. It may be long term, but it may just be short term. You have to put yourself and your improvement at the top of your priority list. You cannot always be last. Now, there are times when you will be last. Your children will come first as they're growing. I totally get it. Sometimes your job has to come first because you have to keep your job so that you can take care of your family. Your education so that you can improve your income potential. I get it. But it should not be that way all the time, in perpetuity, without end. That's not how this is meant to be. So start putting yourself first. Think about your peace and protect that peace at all costs. And so how will we do that? How do we put those things first? How do we put ourselves first? It's important to make yourself that priority. First and foremost, extremely important. All right? No one tells you, I'm going to tell you though, nobody tells you how hard it is to rewire your brain so that you can allow amazing things to happen. And amazing things can happen to you even after trauma, pain, disappointment, grief, hurt. So good things can exist. There are good people out there, okay? And a peaceful life can also exist. But you have to do the work to allow your brain to be rewired to accept those things. So here's an activity. I want you all to try this. When you get up each morning, especially if you are one of them snooze hitters, right? If you're one of those people that hits the snooze button, put the alarm clock across the room, get up on your feet, be up for 25 seconds, 25 to 30 seconds. Get right up and say to yourself, today is the best day of my life. Speak it into existence, okay? You can make it the best day of your life based on your perspective and your outlook. So you want to be able to make yourself a promise that you're going to leave behind the things that weigh you down, the things that darken your mood. Okay? The difficulty you have waking in the morning, turn on the lights, walk around. Make yourself think those good things, right? So leave behind what weighs you down, even when it makes you, or when it feels easy or familiar. It's always, always, always so easy to fall back into those same patterns. All right? Promise yourself to stay right beside that goal. Push through all of the things that make you want to not expend the energy to change. All right? So stay by your side through fear, through doubt, and hard choice. Promise yourself to be kind to yourself. We are our own worst critics. And sometimes that criticism of ourselves can actually darken our mood. Follow what feels right for you. You deserve to be happy, to feel happiness in every part of your life. Work towards that goal. That is an extremely important thing to do. Okay? Got to try it. Got to try it. And you'll find out that as you do try it, it gets easier and easier and easier. Okay? To stick with it. All right? So, try that on for size for 28 days in a row and see if you find any improvement at all. Because I think you will. I think you will. It's all in the way in which you frame your day, frame your mind, your perspective, how you're going to, engage in your own environment. Okay? So let's try that on for size this week and see how well it works. All right. Now, what's the next thing that you can do? There's lots of things you can do. Lots and lots and lots of things that you can do that can help you reframe perspective. All right? Just remember that. And remember, too, what I've also said. You're feeling a little in your feels about something and you think you want to get revenge. Just remember, revenge? No, the best revenge is your success. So be successful. All right? Just remember, every action has an echo. Nothing ever stays buried forever. All right? Just remember that. So, no need for revenge or vengeance. All right? Your success is the absolute best revenge. All right. So, moving on. We're reframing our mind, reframing our perspective, because doing that leads to better days. It starts off the day right. Get up first thing in the morning, turn on all the lights, move around, and tell yourself this is going to be the best, the absolute best day of your life. All right? Think about it. Try it. Let me know if it works. I'd be interested to hear if you think it's going to work or if it did work for you. I'll bet you it does. based on pretty much everything that I know about how we need to reframe our minds. All right. So, what are we going to work on besides reframing our minds? Are we going to try micro modifications each and every day toward a specific goal? Because we should try it. Nobody says you have to make drastic changes. Just even a change of 15 minutes at what time you get up in the morning and get your day going. Okay? That 15 minutes can change a lot of things. A lot of things. All right? Trust me. I know a couple little things here and there. All right? You don't want to be the person that somebody says somewhere out there's a tree whose sole purpose is to replace the oxygen that you waste. Go find that tree and apologize to it. You don't want to be on that end of things. Okay? No, you don't. I think it's really kind of fucked up in a way, the way that we screw ourselves over by not taking that action, right? And settling for the familiar and the comfortable and the easy. Okay? That's actually, you're being toxic to yourself. So love yourself a little bit more so that you don't fall back into those habits that have not generated anything positive for you. Show yourself true love by making those micro adjustments and modifying those behaviors. All right? Do not fall back into the easy, because you don't want to be in the same spot next January 28th that you're in right now. Okay? That doesn't make sense. Why would anybody want to do that? And honestly, don't bitch to me about being in the same position, on the same path, in the same steps, and having not moved forward if you haven't put the work in. All right? I thought 2025 was so crappy, and if it were a drink, we'd call it a colonoscopy prep. Who would want to repeat that? Not me. I sure don't. No way, no how. It's not for me. So, what are you going to do about it? You're going to take action? You're going to try something new, something different? Make some changes? Because standing still isn't going to help you at all. So let me know what you think, and if you're going to change some of those things. Because that's what I want. All right. So here we are, midweek, trying to figure out how we're going to move forward, do something different, try something different, reframe our mind, be more positive, and not fall back into the same routine and the same comfortable, easy way that we've been doing things. All right, because that, to me, that just sounds like a shit show waiting to happen. Okay? So if you're a student, change your study habits if you're not doing as well as you had hoped you would do. If you're in a relationship and you want to see change, be that change, mirror it, okay? Paint that energy the way it's supposed to be. And if somebody can't match it, you walk away. That's how you handle that situation. move forward, moving upward. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you are the only one that can affect change. You are the only one that can affect permanent change in your own situation. Instead of waiting for others, instead of blaming others, okay? Take it into your own hands and make it happen. That way, at the end of the day, you yourself have control. And isn't that really what we want? We want to be able to control the outcome. We want to have an effect on what happens. And the only way you're going to do it is when you start taking those actions. All right? Does that work for everybody? Yeah? All right. And I'm not saying to be toxically positive or toxic positivity. All right. Think about this for 1 second. Person 1 steps on person 2's toes. Person 2 says that hurts. Person 1 says, don't be negative, just stay positive. Everything happens for a reason. You'll be fine. That's literally toxic positivity. Using forced optimism to suppress valid feelings and dodge responsibility. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. But when things are shitty, call it out. It's shitty. But do something about that shitty situation. Take it into your own hands. Okay? Don't fall for the person who says over and over again, "Oh, I'll be better next week. I'm trying. I am. I'm just improvement. I'm just one step away from it. I'll be better next week." And next week never comes. Don't do that. All right? Make sure that you protect your peace. Okay? Protect your peace at all costs. To do that, you need to have a protocol, basically, right? So it includes rest, not rushing around, setting time aside where you have zero obligations to fulfill. Make sure that you enforce your standards and live by them and your boundaries. Believe it or not, protecting your peace creates sustainability that lasts. Okay? A calm life doesn't start Monday morning when the alarm goes off. It starts with the decisions that you make before the week even begins. I believe that. Preparing for your week helps to build those peaceful, restful moments. Okay? It's extremely important we do that. You should be designing a realistic weekly structure because that will, feel calm, intentional, and sustainable. Right? Simplify your schedule. That helps to protect your rest and your focus. All right. Identify your top 3 priorities for the upcoming week based on your long-term goals. Setting that time aside. Very, very important. Setting those goals, setting priorities, taking them on one at a time. As an example of that, let's talk about what happened this past week. Snowstorms, ice storms, states of emergency. We get there by planning. Or are you the type of individual that ran out and did the French toast run, bought up 5 or 6 loaves of bread, 3 gallons of milk, every egg you could find so that you could make French toast? while you were stuck at home during this state of emergency? No, because if you're a planner, you know that it's that time of year. There's going to be situations where we might be, having a weather advisory of some sort. So you probably already had French toast sticks. Okay? Seriously. We all have to do it. So maybe it's the 28th of the month and you haven't started yet. That's okay. Start tomorrow. It's all right. Don't throw away the entire rest of the year because the first 28 days you didn't start it yet. You can start tomorrow. You can start Friday. You can start Monday. You can start on hump day. You can start now. Right? So start the change by going back and listening to any of the podcast episodes you haven't listened to yet. Get an idea of those goals you want to set and then make a plan. All right? Follow us, share, download, listen. Listen on Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Podbean, YouTube. Anywhere that you can get a podcast, you'll find us. All right, my friends, our time is up this week. I hope that you've received a little bit of motivation toward your future you. Check in next week. Let me know how things are going. Okay, come back to my corner of the multiverse for your hump day guilty pleasure. All right. My corner of the multiverse, the Salty Goddess podcast. I'm Ann Margaret. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Take care.